Backlash after BBC Question Time asks if LGBT school lessons are morally right. Metro News 135, 6M shares. BBC Question Time has come under fire for asking viewers last night if it is morally right to teach children about LGBT+ issues. The issue was debated a day after MPs voted for relationship and sex education at school by a majority of 538 to 21. Audience members weren't happy with how the question was framed, with host Fiona Bruce saying, "I can hear all sorts of sounds coming from the audience here." People hit back online too, with BBC presenter Sue Perkins tweeting, "The framing of this question is deeply worrying. Are we really here?" Was a law which prohibited the promotion of homosexuality by teaching or by publishing material at schools or by local authorities. Labour MP Wes Streeting compared the question to asking if it is morally right to teach about Muslim or women's issues at school, and added, "Get in the sea." The framing of this question is deeply worrying. Are we really here again, nearly 2 decades after Section 28 was repealed? Use Sue Perkins at Sue Perkins. Next week, our final question is about learning about women at school. Is it morally right? Week after, is it morally right for 5-year-old children to learn about Muslim issues in school? Get in the sea. U.S. Streeting MP at West Streeting. The more I think about the BBC Question Time morally right question, the more angry I get. Think how many people had to agree on the questions and sign them off? The BBC recently made a big deal about hiring a new LGBT correspondent. Did they not think to send him an email? You Lewis Staples at Lewis Staples. 5 years ago today, same-sex marriage became legal. Thanks to the work of you Bethany Black at Bethany Black. All of the panelists, including left-wing economist Yanis Varoufakis, Education Secretary Damian Hinds and Labour MP Jenny Chapman, were in favour of LGBT+ education in schools, agreeing that it is better for children to learn about same-sex relationships and gender identity in a safe and professional environment. The No Outsiders LGBT+ and Diversity program at a Birmingham primary school after hundreds of parents protested outside. Speaking on Question Time, Mr. Hinds said, "I think it is right, and this is reflected in the new guidance, that during the course of a child's schooling, they do learn about LGBT+ relationships as part of the diversity of our country. That is the type of country that we live in, where there are different types of relationships, and you could have another child in your class who has same-sex parents. It is much safer to have a child hear about that and discuss that in a safe environment, from a teacher, than it is to pick it up on the internet or from other kids." When challenged by a member of the audience who said 5 years old is too young to be exposed to the lessons, Mr. Hinds said he trusts teachers to tailor the classes to be age appropriate. Shadow Brexit Minister Ms. Chapman said, "I think it's quite important that this is happening, and it's about time we taught our children about healthy friendships and relationships and the fact that not everybody grows up exactly the same family situation, and that that's okay and that we are accepting. I find it astonishing that we are only really just doing this now." Just under half. One member of the audience said it's irresponsible not to teach LGBT+ issues to primary school pupils. This audience member says it would be irresponsible not to teach LGBT to 5-year-olds. You BBC Question Time at Beeb Question Time. Former Greek finance minister Mr. Varoufakis reflected on how much the general attitude towards the LGBT+ community has shifted over the past few decades. "I am very gratified that this consensus of tolerance, which would be absolutely utterly absent 20 years ago, is now with us," he told fellow guests. He shared a story about his daughter. When she was 10, telling him about how students at the school went on strike to support her gender-neutral friend, who demanded access to a gender-neutral toilet. A BBC spokesperson said Question Time is a topical debate program. This was a question. If you have a story for our news team, email us at. You can also follow us on Lentidity code excerpt. Share your results.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.